stillborn death, something that you went through, but you have managed to take that and turn it into something so beautiful.
Parents of those who have lost babies, it's silent suffering because it is like walking on pins and needles. Nobody asks about it or talks about it. So parents, they suffer in silence, thinking we are all so strong because we are living proof that you can go through something even more painful than childbirth. Imagine going through childbirth but not bringing your baby home. My husband is one of the main reasons I am here today.
Welcome to M-powerTV, where we leave a legacy of hope through conversations that uplift, educate, and inspire. Listen to incredible stories of people who overcame challenges and barriers, celebrate victories, learn from setbacks, and push forward together.
And you would hear all this torture, and then they would shoot.
Want to be empowered? Let's go. Subscribe for more and get this book now.
This is my favorite river cruise ever, the Rhine, from Cologne to Basel, August 29 to September 5, 2026. Castles, vineyards, and the Rhine Gorge views are absolutely breathtaking. Now here's the fun part. You can win this cruise, valued at $4,200. To enter, watch our episodes on M-powerTV, like and subscribe, and comment on the show with hashtag Rhine Cruise, and then hashtag where you're watching from, like hashtag Rhine Cruise, hashtag New York. Then scan the QR code so we have your contact information. Every time you comment on a new show, you get another entry. We'll draw the winner in June on a YouTube Live, so keep watching to see if you're the winner. Or if you want to book this cruise directly and come with us, contact Pat at Dancing Moon Travel.
Hello and welcome to M-powerTV. My name is Lorna Grayling, and in studio today I have a brave woman, Auburn Day. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
And we had the most amazing conversation on the phone. I would have never known everything that you've gone through because you're so beautiful, you're so positive. But we're going to talk about stillborn deaths today. And it's something that is close to your heart because it's something that you went through. But you have managed to take that and turn it into something so beautiful. So let's start with you. Tell us a little bit more about Auburn.
My story is very interesting. I actually was born in Tampa. I was born at MacDill Air Force Base, so I grew up in a military household. My parents were Navy.
Yeah.
I have two younger siblings. We are all named after colors.
Oh, wow.
So for
I love that.
anyone who sees Auburn and thinks college, we're actually all named after colors. I'm the oldest of the three. So Auburn, cyan, like cyan blue.
Yeah.
And then our younger brothers is Dustin, dusty gray.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
We're all colors,
Yeah.
and often we laugh because we're like, Mom pulled us out of a crayon box, and that's how she chose our names. So I, funny enough, went to college at Alabama.
No way.
If you are a college football fan, you may know that Auburn and Alabama are rivals. So I did.
How did that work out for you in college?
I had no problem with my fun fact.
Okay.
In class, you had to stand up and say a fun fact about yourself. I actually went to college to play soccer. So I played soccer at Alabama. As you can imagine, the announcers had a field day with my name when announcing the soccer games. So a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions.
So how did you and your husband meet?
We actually met in Charlotte. We met at a brewery. I actually, after college, I graduated. I came back to Tampa, moved back to Charlotte. I met Taylor. We dated for a few years, and we got married just down the road from here. We got married at Patrick, now Space for Space.
Nice. That's so special.
It is so special.
Wow.
It was such a beautiful venue, and we had a great time. So.
You got married pretty young though, right? How old were you when you got married?
I got married in 2022.
Okay.
June of 2022.
Yeah.
And this story actually begins there because we had just talked about, prior to the wedding, we were actually talking about having kids, and we both have always wanted kids. And we were like, oh, a couple years down the road, you know, we'll have kids.
Yeah.
We want to travel. We had plans to go skiing, you know, the March following our wedding out in Utah, and we're like, oh, we're gonna go do all these things, and then, you know, we'll settle down and have kids. We got married in June, and then about a month later, I was working. I work remotely, and I just remember thinking, man, I don't feel so great. So the first thing I did is I got a COVID test, and that was negative.
Yeah,
like, huh.
because at that time it was just COVID. Right?
It was just COVID.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was exhausted. I was just so tired. I'm like, it has to be COVID.
Yeah.
It has to be COVID. And then it came back negative. I'm like, huh, okay. So cover the basis. I DoorDash pregnancy tests because I was like, oh, it can't be that.
Yeah.
But you know, let's just. I don't feel great. Like I feel nauseous. I'm super tired. And I'm working. So I DoorDashed some pregnancy tests and took one, and oh, there's a line. Positive.
Man.
I was like, okay, these things sometimes they, you know, let's get another brand. DoorDash another brand. It could be wrong. So I DoorDashed another brand. Okay. Take that brand. Positive. Okay, hold on. This is starting to make a little bit of sense, and of course, like, my mind's racing. I'm like chugging water at this point, so I got 3 more different brand tests coming to DoorDash.
No. And is your husband with you at this point?
No, he's at the office. It's just me. So I'm like, wow, okay. And in my mind, I just keep replaying that conversation that we just had a month ago about having kids 2 years down the road. We have these plans. I'm like,
oops.
Okay. But like inside me, I'm like kind of getting this excited feeling.
Yeah.
So he comes home from work. And actually, I don't tell him as soon as he gets through the door, because I'm like thinking, how is he going to take this? Because I know he knows the conversation we just had, and this is definitely not something that like we knew would happen so soon after the wedding. So he gets home, a couple hours go by, we're getting ready to make dinner, and I pour him a glass of whiskey. And he's like, what's this? I don't need this. I said, I got something to tell you. You might.
You're so funny.
And I just go get the 15 pregnancy tests that I had taken.
Oh my word!
And I
really did a few.
I did. I made sure. I really made sure. So I show him all the tests, and to this day we still laugh about this because his first reaction was, I guess we're not skiing in Utah in March.
Oh, he immediately
That was the first thought. The second was, does this mean that I have a DD for the next 9 months? And then the third came, and that was a huge hug and smiles and excitement. He's like, it kind of hit him. He's like, oh my gosh, like, we're going to have a baby.
Oh, he's so beautiful.
And it's just this warm, fuzzy feeling, like that story and, you know, finding out. And I tell you, that man jumped right into he was asking me, okay, what do we need? And something to remember is we were the first of a lot of our friends to be pregnant.
Yeah.
So besides like my mom and, you know, family members who have been pregnant or had babies recently, like, we kind of were doing this, just the two of us. Yeah. It was fun and exciting.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is kind of awesome. Like, we're parents.
Oh, wow.
So, the first time ever I remember that man being on Pinterest was we were sharing a Pinterest board of like a nursery because we owned a home in Tampa, and it was just us, you know, that chapter of our lives was getting married, you know, exploring the area, going to travel. So, you know, we're looking at this house, we're like, all right, well, we need a place for this baby to go. So my office at the house turned into the nursery.
Oh.
Taylor was amazing. He painted the whole room. He did the entire closet system.
Oh, wow.
He did the board and batten that I had saved on Pinterest. He did all this himself. He,
oh my goodness. What color was the room?
Rosemary green was the color we landed on. So he did a beautiful chair rail, the board and batten. It was just like the Pinterest photos that I had saved.
Picture perfect.
And anyone that knows Taylor, he's introverted. And when he gets his mindset to something, he's going to make it happen. And that room forever was like me seeing how excited he was. Because taking that upon himself, going to the store, learning how to do, he's never done that, but he learned how to do it so he could do that nursery. So we are planning the baby shower. I had a great pregnancy all the way through. You know, there was some nauseous in the beginning. We are getting ready to enter the third trimester. My second trimester was fantastic. Every single doctor's appointment I had, he looked great. At this point, we have his name. We weren't.
So you found out the sex of the baby.
Oh yes, yeah. I have a special place in my heart for those who can wait for the gender because I do not have that
control. You need to know.
I cannot pack my patients like that at all.
Funny.
I said, you call me the second you get those test results back, and they did. So I got the call, and again, Taylor.
With my first baby, they first told me it was a boy. And for 2 months, for 2 visits, it was a boy. And then they weren't so sure anymore. And then eventually they're like, oh no, it's a girl.
Oh my gosh, no way. That is so crazy. And I've heard stories like this. And you go and buy all these clothes and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And you go to like the anatomy scan and there's like, there's something missing.
Yeah.
It's actually
we made a mistake.
Oh, I can't. How did you feel when that happened? Yeah, I was going to say, how did that make you feel?
Oh man, yeah, it was a roller coaster, but I mean, it was a small thing at that point. I didn't care, it was my first child, so whatever. But yeah, it is a little bit like, because I'm like you, I want to know. I
did not have that patience. If you can wait for the gender, good for you. I could not. I said, as soon as that test results back, pick up the phone. I'm there. So they did. They called me, and it's a boy, and I was just beside myself, excited. If you had asked me prior to girl or boy, I wouldn't have cared. I was just happy that we were expanding our family. I went and got a bunch of little stuffed toys, all blue. Everything was blue. So when my husband got home, it was kind of a surprise to him. And then we, of course, did a little something for the family so that they could know the gender as well.
Nice.
And we had his name picked out already. So we had a girl name and a boy name, and we found out that he was a boy. We knew what his name was going to be. So
what was his name going to be?
He's Eli Alexander. Alexander is my husband's middle name.
Love it.
So we knew that was his name. And we knew pretty early because that was one of the exciting things. We had shared notes in our phone. We'd put names we liked, and we'd weed some out. And that was the name we both were just like, yes, I love
aligned.
That. Eli Alexander Day.
Beautiful.
It to this day like just makes me smile.
Yeah.
So I find out he comes home. I give him his gift so he knows the gender of the baby, and he's just over the moon. I don't know. It might have been golf clubs were the first thing he purchased. Not diapers, not wipes.
My dad would be proud. He's an avid golfer, so
Taylor's just golf clubs. Like, we're so excited. We're rounding, into the third trimester, and at this point, we're getting ready for a baby shower. We've got the nursery ready. At this point, we're just ready to ride this thing out. With this being my first pregnancy in our first baby, and we were the first of our friends to have a baby, things like miscarriage, stillbirth, high risk were not words I knew or were aware of.
Yeah.
In my mind, you get pregnant, you go to the doctor. I knew you had blood work and tests and ultrasounds, but then you have the baby, and that was it. I'm sure that if we, we waited those 2 years and I was researching and things, I would have learned. But because this happened so quickly, we just were so filled with excitement.
Yeah.
Those things it wasn't brought up in any appointments. Things could go wrong. Every appointment I had, he was great. Heartbeat's good. His growth is perfect. We had his anatomy scan, and just a funny story about the anatomy scan. He was very camera shy. So we were at that anatomy scan, and if you know what an anatomy scan is, it is a very detailed ultrasound. And you can get like a 3D picture of the face, and so going in there, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to see his face. Like, this is gonna be so cute. That boy was hiding. He was hiding. He was being camera shy. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Cute.
So my husband has this video of me. I'm dancing in the ultrasound, trying to get him to turn. I'm dancing.
That's hilarious.
Walking like.
I drank a can of Coke before my scan so that the baby can move and be up and awake. Poor child.
I just want to take a nap, and my mom's giving me all this sugar.
I'm drinking sugar so that he can be ready for the photo scan.
And that and juice. I've heard juice or like cold drink or something.
Any sugar,
So finally, we get all the measurements that we need. I get to see his face, and again at that moment, I'm just like, man, I'm ready for him to be here. Like you're so excited. Everything was perfect. I go to my last visit, and we did the Doppler. Heartbeat was great, and I believe at that appointment we did some blood work because there's a ton of blood work you always have to do.
I remember.
So everything was great. I go home. It was just another appointment. It was a Sunday. And I remember laying there, and I'm talking to my husband, and I'm like, usually when I lay down like on my side, he's very like he's kicking me. And something about when you're pregnant and you get really far along in your pregnancy, you kind of learn your baby, right?
Yes. when they're awake, you can feel them. They have a schedule. They start getting that schedule.
They do, 100%.
Yeah.
And I knew things like, he did not like anything warm touching my belly. So
interesting.
With pregnancy cravings, I wanted like fries all the time. So we would go pick up like Chick-fil-A. And I would crush some Chick-fil-A nuggets. Oh, I would crush them. They were so good. And it even tastes better when you're pregnant.
I know.
Especially the fries. But we'd go, and I would, be the passenger princess that I am. My husband would take me, and I'd put the bag of food like in my lap.
Yeah.
And he would get so get this food off, like this is too warm, I don't like it, like he'd kick my belly, and I'd have to like move the food away from my belly. So that was something, and it's something we laugh when we go get Chick-fil-A and things now. It's like, he never, I always had to hold the food out here, like away from my belly. And like when I was pregnant, I was pregnant. Like there are women just have the cutest bellies, and like, let me tell you, I was like, no push. Oh, yeah.
When I was pregnant, my brother used to call me Mrs. Whale.
Oh my gosh.
Only a brother that can do that. But
only a brother.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mrs. Whale. Hello, Mrs. Whale. How are you feeling?
I'm great.
I'm like, fine, thank you.
Did you roll out of bed this morning, literally?
Right? My husband used to say, he could just open the car door and I would just roll out.
Right.
He didn't even, I'm like, go away.
And you know what? You get to respond with, I'm pregnant, and just leave it at that.
Exactly.
You win the argument every time.
I want to see you pregnant.
Yeah. He wouldn't be able to do it. But you know what? You could call him whatever you wanted. So I was like super pregnant. And he didn't like the warm food on him. Ice cream. Oh my goodness. I don't know why when you're pregnant you can't crave vegetables.
I know.
Or like a nice salad. Oh no. Fries.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets and ice cream.
Yeah. Magnum ice creams. It was my favorite.
Which kind?
Magnum.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is in Magnum? Is it the
I don't know,
brand?
it was just called Magnum
brand?
ice cream. Yeah, in South
Okay.
Africa. My husband used to drive like 2 o'clock in the morning and go and buy me a Magnum.
Can I get
ice
some
cream.
here? Do they have it
I
here?
think so. Yeah.
I will need some.
I'll find some for you.
Yes, find some for me. I will eat
You
all
want
of
to
it.
try them now?
I would love to try it. So I learned he's like, he loved ice cream because I would eat ice cream every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I never craved it. Like
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's by the pint. Publix didn't, they saw me coming and said, oh no, here she is again. And I always got the half-baked ice cream. And so with him, I ate more ice cream than I've ever eaten in my whole life. So he's always been associated with ice cream.
Yeah.
And so it was a Sunday, and I remember this, and I knew with when I would lay down, he would always, kick me like, what are you doing, Mom? I was very active in my pregnancy. So when I would lay down, he would become active, because I feel like when you are pregnant and you're moving around all the time, the baby's kind of sleeping, or you don't notice like the kicks and things, but then when you stop, and that's kind of what's funny about going to bed, and you're so tired after a long day. I also worked, so I'd have a long work day. I was very pregnant, and I'd lay down, I'm like, bed feels amazing, and you say, nope. Yep, I'm awake now.
I remember.
And, oh, you think you're gonna lay down and rest? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not right now, Mama. So he would have his karate practice, and that just was the norm. I knew it would happen. So I remember laying down, and I didn't feel him. I'm like, okay, I gave it a few minutes, and I remember talking to my husband, and he pulls up Google. Again, we are new parents. We know nothing. So he goes, all right, cold glass of water. So he gives me a cold glass of water. And I drank the cold glass of water, and he wasn't kicking. I'm not panicking yet. Again, I don't know about bad things happening. To me, I'm just like, oh, well, this is a little bit weird. And it was just the night before I was laying there, and his kicks were I have a video on my phone. His kicks were just so strong, like where your belly moves, and it's kind of like, I don't know, like an alien or something. It's like weird. This is my body.
Comes out.
You see like an elbow go across your stomach.
Yeah.
Like it's bizarre.
I remember.
But so the day before that's happening, and that week I had gone to my appointment, and the heartbeat was good and strong, and so of course in my mind I'm like, okay, there's just he's tired for some reason. Well, when Googling and it's like the baby's not kicking or moving normally, like they normally do, it instructs you to call your OBGYN. So I did that. It was not office hours, so they said, well, why don't you go to triage? We'll just check you out. Because again, I was in my third trimester, so I had just gotten into my third trimester. So I go to triage, my husband and I go, and the OBGYN that I have, he wasn't in office, but he ended up coming to the hospital just to check things out. And I go back into this room, and they do the normal ultrasound. And at this moment, I knew something wasn't right, because they aren't telling me anything yet, but you can kind of see it. The ultrasound tech doing the ultrasound says, I'm going to go get, I guess there's like a next level ultrasound machine that you can go get, like similar to like what the anatomy scan can do. It's just a little bit more in depth. So they wheel that machine out, they wheel in another machine. And on that one, they can't pick it up. So a third machine was introduced, and this was like industrial looking. It was, I don't know the name of it, but I just remember it being wheeled in and going, wow, what's going on? And I look over at my husband, he's just like pale in the face, because in the car on the ride over, he asked me, he goes, what if something bad has happened? And at the time I'm like, no, because my appointment was great. Like yesterday he was kicking strong kicks, and that was my response to him. And now I'm replaying that question in my head because he isn't, he's the father. I'm with the baby. I felt the baby. I know the patterns, the movements, but I've always shared that with him. And so outside looking in, he can, you know, pick up on things like, oh, like, you know, he wasn't moving. And so to him, because he hasn't been with the baby, he can kind of pick up on it differently than I felt I did. He's pale in the face, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So my OBGYN comes in, and the last tech with that machine, he leaves the room. And first time mom, first time or first baby, I'm sitting there with this massive machine in this hospital room, and he sits down on my bed, and he delivers this news. He says, there's no tone. We couldn't pick up on a tone. And I remember being like, well, let's check again. You know, maybe he's just, you know, super tired. Let's try again. Let's check again. And obviously no tone, nothing. I will say that the hospital that I was at throughout this entire process, the nurses were phenomenal. My OBGYN, he was great given the circumstance. So he's sitting there and he says, you have two options. One, we can induce labor, you know, right now. And he said, or you go home and kind of let it process. Everybody's different. You let me know what is going to be best for you. So without even hesitation, I said, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm in jeans and a, you know, I'm going home because I just finished work, and I am here because I called in because Google told me to. and now I just got this information, and I don't think at this point I hadn't broke out in tears yet, because I'm still like,
that's like disbelief, right?
Disbelief.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
understand.
understand.
So quick. I mean, everything was fine, and all of a sudden, there's no tone. I wouldn't even know what that meant.
Yeah,
I would like, what does that
tone?
mean? Like, what tone? Is he singing? Is he not singing?
And then jumping right into plans, like, do you want to go into labor?
I would need to hear, like, there is no heartbeat. We cannot pick up anything. Like, for me, that would be, I wouldn't even know.
And you play things in your head, like worst case scenario things. That wasn't it. That wasn't even my worst case scenario. My worst case scenario was, you know, oh, you have to give birth to him because, you know, we'll give birth early, but like, you know, he's ready. That was worst case scenario to me. So this just was.
Never crossed your mind.
Never crossed my mind. We go home.
So what did your husband, where is he at this point?
If you ask him, he will tell you that his main concern was me. His main concern was me. The baby, yes, he was absolutely devastated, but he knew that if anybody knew this baby better than anyone, it was me. I carried this baby for months. You know, we got the nursery ready, so he did a lot of things, but this baby was a part of me and my body. I carried for months, and I always shared with him everything, but he was worried about me, and he knew that he was my support system. He called his mom. I could not make a phone call. I couldn't send a text. I just stopped. My world stopped on a dime. And I am so grateful for Taylor, because he was able to pick the phone up and share the news, and he was there for me. And we get home, and obviously, like, you know, texts are coming in, we're on our way. You know, it was just close family. I had to let my work know that I wasn't going to be in the office tomorrow because I have to go give birth, and you know, they wonder why I have to go give birth. And so just these things, when you are delivered news that you've just lost your baby, and you have to make calls like that. Our family, we're very close, and I am so thankful for that, because those were the hard calls to make, but then they took care of a lot for us so we could just be with each other. And so we go home, and he said, you'll get a call in the morning when they have a room ready for you. That night felt so long.
I can imagine.
It felt so long. I kept thinking to myself, this is a moment, if you're going into the hospital the next day to be induced to have a baby, like, you can't sleep because you're excited. You're making sure your hospital bag is packed. You're making sure that your home is clean, and the nesting. Oh, I went through the nesting. My cabinets were cleaner than they've ever been. There wasn't a single dog hair to be found. My house was immaculate. That closet in the nursery was full of clothes. The diaper caddy ready to go. I could have given birth to Eli and brought him home, and we would have been ready. Like, oh, I was on it. I had everything ready. So that wasn't the case. I am just, what happened?
Yeah.
What's wrong? I have no answers at this point. All I know is I'm going to the hospital tomorrow with my hospital bag that I packed, but I am unpacking the baby's items. And I remember leaving one outfit in there just in case.
Just in case. I was just going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have some faith left?
I
at this
did.
point, just thinking, hey, maybe they're wrong. They're going to take him out and he's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. And I am very stubborn. So anybody will tell you I am stubborn. So to get through on a lot of things to me, it's difficult if my mind's made up about something. And my parents will tell you that and I get it from my dad. Ooh, my dad and I, man, we'll go, we're like this sometimes, but because of that, I'm like, it's
gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. So I leave an outfit in there for him. And again, I don't know anything about this process, so I don't know what to bring or what to have.
Yeah, that's not what you prepared for.
So
for
I ended up
9
going,
months,
like,
you've been preparing
yes,
for the birth of your baby and bring him home. I mean, your whole mindset.
the lists, the check boxes, all the things you need to have. I had it all. My Amazon knew my house because every day I'm like, oh, he's gonna need this. He's gonna we didn't have anything, so I had everything for him. I was ready. That I ended up going with his outfit, something for myself. I had a robe maybe, but I didn't have a chance to get my matching outfits that I knew I wanted to get. So in my Etsy card, I had it with his name and mama. So we had our matching gowns for pictures and things. I didn't have that yet. And I remember being so mad at myself. Why don't I have that yet? Why don't I have that? I should have that. Instead I'm going with, and it was a very cute outfit. Instead I'm going with this outfit. This isn't how this is supposed to go. This isn't right. I don't have everything. And so there's a lot going through my mind. None of which should be what goes through a mother's mind at all.
Yeah.
We go to the hospital, and we are in a delivery wing with other moms who are having babies.
Goodness.
And again, I know nothing about
this. You're just in the
this.
same ward as everybody else?
Same ward. It may have been a high-risk wing. This hospital did an amazing job. They put us in a very nice room. We had the couch, we had a TV, it was spacious. There was a sink in the corner with a bunch of cabinets. We could have moved in and stayed there for quite a while. It was quite comfortable, but they come in, and what I learned later on was my experience was the exact same as any other mom going in. I was induced. I had to get an epidural. I had to go through hours of labor. I labored for hours. I had contractions. I was in the hospital bed the same as any other mom going to give birth. My experience was the exact same. The nurses were very great. However, you could tell, it's hard on a nurse to come in when, you're in labor and delivery and your job is to deliver babies, and you get that, the baby comes out, there's crying, it's, happy moment, and mom cries, dad cries, it's this magical moment. As I'm laboring and I'm dilating, I got to 8 centimeters dilated, and I could feel, the contractions were so strong. And I delivered Eli the same as any other mom would deliver, the contractions, everything. Except when he came out, there was no crying.
Sure.
And that moment was when I lost it. I was bawling.
Like you realized now.
Yes.
There's nothing.
When he was handed to me, because they wrapped him and they handed him to me, same as any other mom would get their baby. And I smiled. I said, he's perfect.
Sure.
He is perfect. And he was born at 2 o'clock in the morning. Again, I've been laboring for hours. I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep, the night before. And imagine the stimulation of an experience like this. I'm exhausted. My body's exhausted. But I'm holding this baby, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, we made him. I am holding my son. This boy, he made me a mom. And I'm looking at him, and he's just so peaceful. Although he's not crying, and he's not, looking back at me or cooing or anything. He's restful. He's peaceful. And I held him. I held him. I sang to him. I talked to him. Our family at this time was there, and they allowed everybody to come up and see us. And I am devastated. But I was so proud. I'm like, this is my son. He made me a mother.
Sure.
He made me a mother. And once our family left, my husband and I, they told us, stay as long as you would like, spend as much time with him as you would like. And I was grateful for that, because a piece of me did feel, another mom has to come in here and give birth. I gave birth, and my baby isn't like the other babies, so I'm gonna have to leave. And that wasn't the case. Stay as long as you would like.
Nice.
And we did. We stayed with him for a while. When you give birth, you are brought a little bassinet. Our bassinet was a little bit different. It had a heating element too, so we could have him and hold him for as long as we needed to. So, we got our pictures, we got his footprints. There was the moment when it was time to go, we were ready. They said, okay, you say your goodbyes. And
Sure.
and this, I think, throughout this entire story is the hardest part, because I have to leave my baby at the hospital. This is the last time I hold him. This is the last time I get to see him. When you give birth to a baby, you go home with your hands
With your
full.
baby.
And we had to go home empty-handed
To a house that was ready.
to a house that was ready for this baby. And I had to be wheelchaired out, and the whole time we're there, I can hear other rooms and other moms, and dad's cheering the moms on, and baby gets delivered, you hear the cries. And I am being wheelchaired out of the hospital, and as soon as they open my door, here comes another mom in a wheelchair with her carrier and the baby, and the nurses quickly turn my chair around, and they try to avoid it.
But that's hard because you're in the same wing, right?
Yep. And I just looked at my husband, and it was all over his face too. He's just so Taylor goes down and gets the car, same as all the other moms getting picked up, except instead of putting the carrier into the car, I'm just getting into the passenger seat, and we're going home in a quiet, babyless car.
What was your conversations in the car on the way home?
I don't know that there was one. I think we just held hands, and that's all we...
No words.
No words.
What can you say? I mean, there is no words, right?
Mm-hmm. I just remember him being worried about me. What do you need? Do you need, this? And one of my friends, I remember she Amazoned a box to my house of everything I would need. So, you know, I still had to wear the diapers. I was healing the exact same way as if I had a baby at home.
That must have been so hard, because
Yes.
all of that healing part at home, I remember, was very shocking for me. I had my first baby, you know, I would say for me, I felt young, 24, right? And I didn't know much at 24. I just got married 1 year and then had the baby. But having the baby kind of helps you get through all these other things that your body is going through, because you're not so focused on all the things. You're like, holy moly, am I bleeding to death? Am I dying? Like, my breasts are so sore.
Yes.
What is, like, I didn't expect any of this. Like, nobody talks about these things. I'm like, holy moly. And then, but at least you have a baby that your focus is on that, but you literally had to sit and go through all this by yourself.
Yes. And
nothing to focus on other than
or distract.
Yeah.
You don't have any distractions. You just pay so attention to your body. Your body changes so much in pregnancy. Yeah. And pregnancy is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It brings so much hope.
It brings so much hope. And
now all that
our
hope is
bodies are
gone.
capable of this.
Yeah.
It stretches. And then you have the baby and it goes back. And of course your body changes and it looks different after you've given birth, but it's such a beautiful thing. And that's not how I saw it. I saw it as a terrible thing. Like, how can a body, at the time, I mean, you can imagine where you go to mentally. It is very much my body failed me. What did I do wrong? And I want to point out that we still don't have answers. So we lost him and he was born and he was of weight. The heartbeats were strong. Everything looked normal. I had no answers. So not only am I going home empty-handed, I'm going home without answers. Why did this happen? What did my body, did I do? And I'm thinking through the whole pregnancy, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like, did I get out of the car wrong? Did I, turn over and when I was sleeping one night, like, I did this, what did I do? My body, it was his home and it failed me, it failed him, it failed us. And that was the very first thing that I had to work so hard on was my mental state, because that's immediately what you go to. What did I do wrong? And sometimes it's not.
It's not you.
It's not that. So we researched and we tried to get answers. They looked at him.
I feel like that helped you feel better, like just researching and trying to find the answers that you're looking for, just at least to keep you busy.
It kept me busy. I think it was good. However, it also planted the seed of, I wish I knew this could happen. I wish, so then I wouldn't have been so blindsided by this. We today have a best guess. There was no definitive answer. Cord accident is what I think thrombosis was the word that they used. There was some twisting of the cord, and essentially when that happens, the baby doesn't get the nutrients and the oxygen that the baby needs, and it still doesn't sit with me totally well, because he was of weight, so I knew he was getting nutrients, and if it was something that happened over time, like if it was he wasn't getting enough oxygen, maybe that's what it was. But to this day, that's something I've had to find peace in.
How did you find peace in not knowing?
The same reason that I'm here today talking about it. The healing process, like you mentioned, your body is healing. Something I learned is healing is not linear at all. There's no path of healing. It ebbs and it flows, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. My body didn't know the difference that I didn't have him with me. I was ready to feed him. So I, was told, oh, you can donate your milk. I got so upset with that, because that's my baby. lactating for my baby. And
that's already a tough process, like breastfeeding. It wasn't for me natural or enjoyable in the beginning at all. Now
now I'm sitting there
go
with
through all that pain, that
it
throbbing,
hurts
that
so
heat,
bad.
and there's no baby.
And I remember sitting and I just had a towel and I'm just holding it to my chest and crying because my body thinks he's here, that I need to feed him. And he's not. I have no baby to feed. But you know, my body kept reminding me of him in ways like that. I healed. It took me just as long to heal. I had to go to, you know, my 6-week appointment and get cleared for exercise. And the healing journey started for me when I realized I needed to actually talk about it. The difference was I wasn't talking to anybody who was sitting across from me who had been through what I had been through. I did therapy, and I think therapy's great. I was able to talk about it. The person who you are talking to is licensed. They're incredible at what they do, and they're great at talking to you. But a piece of me never felt whole because I'm like, she can't level with me because
she doesn't know what I'm feeling.
She doesn't know what I'm feeling, and I wish no one knew the way that I felt. I wish it wasn't a thing. I wish babies just were always born healthy, and it was always the experience of that excitement and happiness and warmth. And we're sitting in this house now that is so cold, and we have a room in the front that a family member had to go close the door and, you know, get rid of all of the things that were laying around that were his.
Is that what they did for you?
They did.
Take everything out of the house.
And we were asked, do you want us to remove everything out of the nursery? And again, I remember this anger, like, no, those are his things. Although I couldn't open that door and go in there and feel guilty. My husband worked so hard on that room, and I wasn't able to bring a baby home. Again, everything was me. I did find a group to talk to of other moms who went through what I did, and something that I learned is sometimes this happens to moms who it's their last chance of having a baby, or it's their only chance of having a baby. And I remember thinking, we are all so strong because we are living proof that you can go through something even more painful than childbirth. Everyone says childbirth is the most painful thing. Imagine going through childbirth but not bringing your baby home.
Yeah,
there are women who are so strong, and families, husbands. My husband is one of the main reasons I am here today, because he held me up when my everything just wanted to collapse to the floor and give up. So I started to tell my story. I realized this is a topic that is very much like walking on pins and needles to a lot of people.
Yeah, people don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it, and they don't ask about it. I wanted so badly for my neighbors and my friends to be like, ask about Eli. Oh, well, what color were his eyes? Oh, he had brown eyes like me.
Wow.
He, tell me, like, do you have pictures of him? I'd love to see pictures of him. He had blonde hair, like platinum blonde. And I was like, boy, where'd you get that from? And,
what color hair does your husband have?
His is darker than mine now, but when he was a baby,
he had blonde.
He had blonde hair. So he had blonde hair. Well, how much did he weigh? The same questions that you would ask somebody who had a living child. What did he weigh when he was born? Well, how long was he? Because I have all those answers.
Yeah.
Did they take his footprints? They sure did. Look here they are. That, I realized, put a smile on my face. I was talking about him, and I'm like,
wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I did. I started telling my story, and you know what is interesting? I realize there are so many people out there who on some level have gone through a loss like I did.
Yeah.
It is a whole nother level of strength to we still wanted a baby. To go from that experience to dive in again is,
Yeah,
I don't know
can
there's a
really
word
imagine.
for it.
Yeah. How long did it take you to start trying again?
We decided, you know, we were going to try right away. So similar to, you know, any other birth, you go for your 6 weeks, they check you out, they make sure everything looks good. And, you know, they say, okay, you know, you can exercise again, you know, you can, and they said it to me, they said, if you guys plan on trying again, you know, you can try again. So, you know, with that, I went home and remember, we just got pregnant. So now I'm learning about
No, you're trying.
how to get pregnant. And I'm like, there's tracking, there's devices, there's,
Now
you know,
you're focused.
yeah, last time the only stick I peed on was, you know, to see if I was pregnant. Now there's like, there's a whole these things, and I'm like, I that was overwhelming. I just said, okay, let's just, you know, let's just try, because I can't go in like nothing happened, because then I'm like, well, I want to remember Eli, like he's my first baby, and there were parts of this, you know, this next chapter where I felt like I was closing that book and starting over on another baby. Will he be replaced? No, absolutely not. And it took us, I think, 3 months, and we found out we were pregnant again.
Oh, that's beautiful. But that must have brought some fear as well.
Of course.
Because now you're worried, like, is this going to happen again?
Pregnancy after a loss is definitely tainted by grief and constant questions like, what if this baby dies? Or what if my body fails me again? Pregnancy after loss is not,
It's not that same.
happy, exciting. We didn't do a nursery.
Really?
We didn't. We
Did you still keep some of the other things? Or
absolutely.
Oh.
I have many of his things, and that room still stayed his. We had a guest room in our house, and that became the next nursery. It was very late in my pregnancy that we did anything, and when you've had a loss, they consider you high risk, so you go very frequently to the doctor, which was reassuring to me. So nerve-wracking. For the first time in my medical history, my blood pressure, every time I stepped foot into a doctor's office,
Sure.
was through the
Just
roof.
went sky high.
So, you know, they watched that closely, and, you know, healthy pregnancy, and we found out this time was a girl.
Oh.
And I remember being so happy, because I said, okay, that, you know, I worried if I had another boy that I'd feel like I was replacing Eli, and her name is Stella. She's here today. You know, we together we celebrate her older brother's birthday, and she's too young to understand yet, but she knows his things, because, you know, October being Infant Loss Awareness Month, you know, I always bring out some of those things. I tell we always have ice cream together, and she knows, and it's fun to see her smile, because she knows when those things come out, like, we're gonna have ice cream. And of course that's her
Of course not work.
association right now. And you know, we picked her name. It's a rainbow baby name. So that chapter of my life was the hardest chapter of my life, but it has shaped who I am today. I think that grief is interesting, because one day you pull a picture up of him and you smile. The next day you pull up a picture and look at him and you cry. Grief very much, and loss very much reshapes the landscape of your life.
Yeah. What do you feel like the grief taught you?
How strong I was. If you told me prior to even getting pregnant that, oh, you're strong. I played college athletics. To me, I'm like, yeah, I'm a tough girl. Like,
yeah, you played soccer.
I played
What do you mean?
soccer. I had ankle surgeries. Like, You know, my ankles are bionic. It's crazy. I blew them both out. I had surgery. I got back on the field and I played. And to me, that was strength. This is
emotional is a whole different ballgame.
You can't hold it. You can't, you know, frame it. You can't, but it is strength that exists inside of you that is immense. And you don't go day to day saying, oh, you know, I went through this, I went through that. But it's always there.
Yeah.
It's always there. And people never asked about him. When they would approach me, they would say, or we'd start talking about it, they would say, oh, I didn't want to bring up your baby because I didn't want to make you sad. And I remember just looking at him and saying, I think about him every day. I appreciate you reminding me that you also remember him.
Thinking of him. Yeah. Because did you guys have to have a funeral? Like, how did that work for you? Because that's, I mean, I know my one friend had a stillborn baby and they had to have a whole funeral and everything.
Yes. We have him at home. We had him cremated. I still am not ready to let him go. There will be a point, it's most likely going to be something we do as a family together. But I talk to him. You know, he's always there for me. So we have him. We did do a small, you know, we did a butterfly release for him, and that was our service. I have a, you know, I still have it. I wrote something while I was in the hospital, going through it and just about him, and I read it, and then we did a butterfly release. I needed that. Being able to set something free, because I felt so caged up, and I feel like he wasn't given the life that I wanted for him, but he was needed elsewhere. Maybe there's another purpose for him, and there is. It's my strength. It's his younger siblings have something that a lot of other kids don't have. They have a guardian angel. And it's interesting. I think Stella can see him sometimes, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because I'm not, but there will be times where she'll be in her room just giggling and talking, and I'll walk in and she'll point over, and of course I can't see anything, but I wonder, and I'm like, can she?
Kids are so pure.
Oh, they're so pure.
So interesting thing. My middle daughter, when she was born, she was young. My granddad, he was an amazing man, and he passed away long before my middle daughter was born. But when she was born, she used to, and she started speaking, she used to speak about my granddad.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah. How do you know him?
So,
and she used to talk about him as if she knew him.
That's what
it
I'm
was
saying.
Literally like she has met him before she was born, and it was so fascinating. I tell you, kids they're fascinating. And she would cry over him, like she missed him. She missed my granddad, who she never met when she was tiny. I used to look at this thinking, wow, there's something there.
And as weird as it is, because it takes me, I get thrown off guard all the time. I smile because I know he's with us. And I know he'll always be with us no matter where we are, because when we, this all happened in Tampa, and my next two kids were born in Tampa, and we decided to move back to the Carolinas, and I was so torn about it because we have family in the Carolinas, and with having the kids, it's nice to be down the road and have help with them, and there were a few reasons why we decided to make the move, but we planted a tree in Eli's name at a park that we frequently went and walked when I was pregnant with him. I was so torn on leaving, because I'm like, I'm going to be leaving him. And it was very, very hard for me to make that move and not feel like I was leaving him behind. Well, we planted that tree, and we asked family, and everybody asked, well, what can we do? When we lost them, and because I didn't have something to take care of, I had plants and you know, house plants, but I never really like I went and got a pothos.
Oh.
And I took care of that pothos like I was the best plant mom, and it gave me something to care for and look after. And I remember going and getting a pot to put the pothos in, and let me tell you, that opened doors. I have so many plants. My husband will tell you.
You're like the plant lady.
I very well could be categorized as the plant lady.
That's hilarious.
That helped me. I had things that I could take care of and get excited to buy things for. I didn't have a baby to nurture and care, but I had this plant, and that was the best care I've ever taken of a plant. So because of that, I was like, well, let's plant trees, something that can grow, and in his name. So that's what we did, and he asked, and so now there's trees all over in his name. And so
and that's in North Carolina now.
The tree's still in Tampa.
Oh, that's in Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, Felipe Park is where, and that's actually where we did our butterfly release, and I was able to go and say what I felt I needed to say, and it was a weight off my shoulders. We released these butterflies, and now we see butterflies, and even still we'll go, oh, butterfly, and point and look, and I'm just like, they're just constant reminders of him, and he's always around, and so it was hard for me to leave, and what I realized when we got here, and there's butterflies here too.
Yes.
And we in the backyard of our house, we did a nice butterfly garden.
Oh, beautiful.
For him. So I still have I like being able to go visit him, and like I'd go to the tree, and we'd have picnics at the tree, and when I felt like I really missed him and I needed we'd go to the tree, and Stella was born a happy baby. She was born in the same year as Eli was born. He was born. It was very quick. So he was born January 14th, and she was born December 29th. So barely,
just made it.
Yes.
What a beautiful, not a replacement, but just a restoration.
It is something that you get through, and you have this, you look at this baby, and when she was born, it was such a different feeling. The cries, now we're not here to talk about her birth, but she was an emergency C-section. So when I was laboring, and her heart rate was dipping a little bit, scaring me, the OBGYN said, well, there's a couple options here. We can do this, or we can go up for a C-section. I said, take me up. Yeah. Put him in the marshmallow suit. Take me up. Let's go. Let's get her out.
As quick as possible.
Don't be.
I had 3 very successful C-sections.
Oh my gosh. 3.
Yeah. No, I don't even know what it's like to have natural birth, but I'm very happy it went that way. So I'm fine.
And they're planned. Good. My son Luca, he's also a rainbow baby. His name is Rainbow Baby as well. Bringer of light. He was also a C-section, but like you said, I had a date. They gave me a date. I knew exactly what was going to happen. So much better. Yes. And Stella was induced as well. So
that's rough.
Just like Eli was. So her experience was everything but happy and exciting. I remember sweating a lot. I was like,
and also the whole pregnancy wasn't the same, right? It wasn't that whole.
Not at all.
But praise God, now you have a beautiful, beautiful baby.
And we every family is different. If you have a loss and you have babies after, I know it's maybe hard to introduce an older brother that doesn't who isn't with us to younger kids, and some families may not choose to. Through talking about it, there was a neighbor in Tampa that we found out that her mom also went through what I went through, and they celebrate the birthday still to this day. And so when my husband and I were talking about it, I was like, I really want to be able to tell Stella and tell Luca about their big brother Eli. And so we do, and it's always happy.
Love that.
they will always know who their older brother, and they always have a guardian angel always looking out for them.
Auburn, you are amazing, and you use this story now to impact others. I know you have a awareness campaign that you guys run in October. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Something that I decided to do, and it took me a little bit to do it, because again, it's a strength thing, and it's not something you go around telling everybody that happened. One, because as the mother, you feel you have let everybody down. Everybody's so excited for this baby. You have posted on social media about it. You know, pregnancy's following, you don't do that. I did a little bit with Luca, but with Stella, I had a hard time announcing and posting on social media because I didn't know what was going to happen. But you spend this whole time telling everybody, oh, we're having a baby. We're so excited. Oh, look at the room. Look at this. When you lose a baby, you go home and you're like in fetal position. You don't want to tell anybody. It was so hard to pick the phone up and tell our family. And so to tell friends who were expecting a baby in April, you gave birth in January and there's no baby at home. You feel you've let the world down. When I decided that I'm proud of him, I want to talk about it. You find people and they start telling you, oh, I went through something similar. A friend that I have that I've known since we were in diapers, we played, soccer together as just little dykes. She had quite a bit of losses. A little bit different. She had miscarriages. I never would have known that she had loss. And she had, lost her babies, and she knew genders of her babies, and she had names for her babies, and we talked about it. I tell you, we've never been so close, but she's like, I've not told anybody except for like my husband and our parents that I've gone through this. And I was just so grateful. I gave her the biggest hug because it is silent suffering. Parents of those who have lost babies, it's silent suffering because it is like walking on pins and needles. Nobody asks about it or talks about it. There's bad things that happen in life. Life throws you curveballs. Oftentimes you talk about things that have happened that might have been traumatic to you because you can't bottle in when you feel that way because it's not good for you, and everybody says you need to talk about things. This is something that's like walking on pins and needles. Nobody asks, nobody wants to talk about it. So parents, they suffer in silence. You talk to your husband and he went through the same thing you did, but did he? Because I carried this baby. I knew his kicks. He would touch him and feel his kicks. I just, I was ready to feed him. My body was ready for this baby. He was there for every bit of that. If I had another woman, another mom who went through this, I think it would have been monumental for me. So
just for someone to relate, right?
I've been through it. Like, let's talk about it. What do you need? Like, you need dark humor? Do you need a listening ear? Like, I am here. I am here to bring light to the situation. And because of those conversations, I said, I need to do something where even if someone doesn't want to tell their story or talk about it, let's get together, raise awareness for this because it is something that's so silent. Like, let's make some noise. Let's, shout in the back.
And I think what helps is, when more people start talking about it and say, but I went through it, you went through it, another person went through it. And now we can understand, all right, I'm not alone. And like when you feel that you're part of a sisterhood or a family of people that's gone through similar pain, it helps.
It does.
It helps to know you're not alone.
Yeah,
right?
and really you're not. I make it known that I am here. I don't care what stage of loss you had. I don't care if it's your first baby, or your fifth baby. Maybe it's the last chance you had at having a baby and you lost your baby, or maybe it was your only chance for having a baby and you went through this. Like, there are people who are there for you. I'm here for you. I will listen. I want to hear. I want to learn your baby's name. I want to learn about your baby.
I love that. So do you guys have like a website or a Facebook group? I know you have these beautiful bands. What does that mean? And
So the band you're wearing, we walk for the steps they'll never take. We do a walk, and like you had mentioned, October is Infant Loss Awareness Month.
Yes.
We often do an event, a walk, in October, just in honor of these babies. That's why I'm here today. I'm here to honor Eli. I'm here to open myself up to anybody, you know, that is watching or listening. I'm here to talk.
I love that.
You know, come join us. I know in 2026 we're going to be doing, we're changing it up a little bit. We're actually going to do a golf tournament.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
So where can people join?
Facebook. We're on Facebook.
And what is the group name? Is it
Eli Alexander Foundation?
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
All right,
So you can join and follow, and we welcome you to tell your story, if you would like. I do have some friends and people who have joined us for walks. They join. They don't necessarily want to talk, but they want to be around people that have experienced loss of some sort. And you know what? We smile.
I love
and we laugh. We cry. We ugly cry. We do it all. And I am there for it.
But you do it together.
We do it together.
Yeah.
And
for the fathers, like, do they join you guys? They come with?
The fathers join. And you know, there are groups, and I think the dads and husbands are a group of individuals who are never focused on. Of course, I always talk about the mothers because that's who I'm going to relate with the best. But they're the dads. No one talks to the dads. Taylor had no outlets. You know, he had me, but the dad is a completely different aspect to the entire process because they're there with their wife and they have no control. And my husband, I'm sure, is similar to a lot of husbands out there. They like to have control of things, you know. They like to be able to go and fix. They have a, you know, just naturally, they when you tell your husband or your significant other a problem, a lot of times their immediate response is, I'm gonna fix this. And sometimes you're like, no, I just want to vent. I just want to talk to you. I don't want a solution.
Don't fix me.
Don't fix me. I don't want a solution. I want to vent. A guy wants to fix, and this is something he can't fix, and they need each other too.
Yes.
I know when we did the walk, we did just a coffee. Coffee's for the dads.
Oh, that's nice.
They can talk about it or they don't have to talk about it, but they're around other.
At least they're not alone.
Yes.
That's
was your wife, you know, hormonal after? Yes. Mine was too. Oh my gosh. Like, I thought that the ice cream craving would stop. It sure didn't. I was still buying ice cream. So it's just, it's a community and it's tangible. Making something that's so horrible into something that does bring, you know, light and happiness because it is something that happened.
Yes.
I have a son.
Yes.
He has a name. There's memories that are tied to him. So people often, you know, when they talk to you, they say, okay, you're going through something, like, you know, avoid the triggers. If it was so hard for me to see babies in public and even pregnant women in public, and as a woman, I should be so proud and supportive of her. Like, you're carrying a baby, a human, and I would look at the ground and I couldn't look up. And you know, one of the events for work happened to be at Disney, and obviously Disney, there's babies. Oh, I cried like ugly cry in the middle of Disney. I thought I was going to be strong enough to get through it, and like I mentioned, healing's not linear. So I thought I was good. You know, I'll be okay. I've learned to still be happy for my friends who have gotten pregnant and my friends who have given birth to healthy babies. That's hard. And so, you know, when someone says to avoid the triggers, that is something you can do when it is outside of. However, something that's forgotten is my body. Something that's not avoidable was his only home. So in everything I do, I am reminded of him. And I knew that in everything I do, I needed to find happiness. And, you know, Eli made me a mom. My body created my son. And, you know.
Sounds like the moment you kind of saw it not as such a loss anymore, but as a win. Like, I'm a mom. Like, he made me a mom, right? He gave you something different to focus on rather than the loss all the time. Did that help you?
It sure did.
That's beautiful.
It sure did. And you know, sometimes we'll be at dinner and I still will like giggle about the Chick-fil-A on my belly and how he just was like, Mom, this, no thank you. Like, you're invading my space. Like, so.
Just talking about him like he's not gone. He's just transitioned.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it. He's always with us. And, you know, we get together and give families something tangible to be a part of, because again, it's silent suffering, and nobody should have to go through that. And you know, you will go home and you'll be a hermit for a little bit, and but when you're ready to come out and talk or see the light of day again or go for your first walk, just know that speaks volumes about who you are as a person. Like, you are living proof that something so painful, you are standing up and you are still here, and you're able to tell this story, and it makes you an absolutely incredible person.
Amen. I love that. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. You are so strong and amazing. We appreciate you.
And thank you for having me and letting me tell my story. I really hope that there's somebody out there listening that my words are helpful, and
totally. And they must come and join your walk.
Yes, come and join our walks, and you know, we do something in January for his birthday, and then golf tournament next year. So we always gonna keep
him alive.
Keep him alive. Keep saying his name.
I love it. Well, it was an honor to meet you and to meet Eli today.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that is it from me, Lorna Grayling, and M-powerTV. If you would like to join this walk, have a look on the screen. We will put the details on there. And if you know anybody who has had a stillbirth and who needs a little bit of hope or someone to talk to, the details will be in the show notes. Please reach out. You are not walking this road alone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our episodes. And until next week, goodbye.